All right, this should be fun. I think I've only done this one other time and had two people to talk through their habits. So this will be interesting. There's an age gap between you guys. What is the age gap between you guys?
Well, you're not mature now, right?
That's right. No, I'm just back into
Because
immaturity.
before my birthday, he was half my age. So I say, okay, you're half my age now, you're mature. And since I had a birthday, he's behind. So he's got some growing up to do.
Well,
But
of course.
put it this way, I've worked with Charles now for almost half my life, so that's got to count for something.
No, you had not work for me, work with me.
With you.
Yeah.
I mean, you give me more assignments than I give you.
Well, this will be fun then. I'm just going to walk through the 7 spokes here and hear again what your daily routines are, the daily habits, the things that help you guys achieve the success that you want in your business and in your life. First one is just the physical and nutrition things, the things that you hold dear to keep you well. And Charles, you're 85 and you're writing books. You've obviously done some good routines, I would imagine. They probably don't include a pack of cigarettes a day or anything like that. What do you do every day to keep yourself where you want to be?
Well, I work out at least an hour. My goal is an hour and a half every day, and I try to eat balanced meals. I don't go on diets, but I watch the quantity I eat. Eat balanced food. I don't eat between meals. I eat 3 meals a day. I'm pretty rigorous on these things, and then I have pretty rigorous schedules. I mean, and so I want to exercise my mind and my body every day. So every day I'm trying to learn new principles I can apply, or thinking of, okay, how do we apply our principles and use our capabilities in a way that will create more value, that will make a bigger contribution. And every day, what keeps me going is, how do I contribute today? So those are my kind of general routines.
And never waste a moment, right? I mean, even to the extent that
yeah.
you walk up the stairs in the office rather than take the elevator, those sorts of things are conscious.
And I have in my car, it's only a 10-minute drive to the office, but I have books on tape.
Yep.
And so I don't waste a minute.
Brian, how about you? What's happening on the wellness side of your life?
Well, I like to say I haven't gotten to where Charles is on discipline, but I aspire to it. I do try to exercise. I try every day these days. But my mantra is eat good food.
Amen.
Really important. Eat good food.
Life's too short not to, right?
Cook it yourself and start from scratch. Yeah, that's one of my passions.
How about sleep? This is one that I didn't used to separate out, but it has become, I think we're more sleep deprived. We get less sleep, we get less quality. And what do you guys do there? And again, Charles, when you look at people your age, they're not often on the spry side as you are. And I'll even ask that historically for you, the priority of sleep.
Well, I try to get close, let's say 7.5 to 8 hours with the lights off and I wear one of those watches not watches, but devices that showed how much you're really sleeping.
Yeah.
It's as much as an hour less than the time you have the lights off.
Yeah.
So if I have the lights off 7.5 hours, it means I'm only really getting 6.5. Yeah. But my ideal would be to get 7 hours of real sleep a night. As I understand, that's the optimum for you. And I don't always get there, but so I work to approach that.
Brian, you.
I have to admit failure on this point. I ascribe more to the we'll sleep when we're dead school of thought, which I know is not the right thing to do, but yeah. I'm lucky. I usually get about 6 hours and feel pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. How about on the relationship side? And again, you guys are at different places of life, but incredibly busy people. What do you do routinely to keep your relationships in the healthy place you want them to be?
Well, for me, I mean, most important, my family. I have a great relationship with my wife. We've been together 51 years, and she has helped me tremendously. Talk about a great partner, because we share vision and values, and we have complementary capabilities. I'm only good at a narrow range of things, and she's good at everything else. So she helps me tremendously. And then we have great relationships with our kids. We love to get together. We have great philosophical and other discussions. And then my son has 3 children, and so we get together with them regularly. And when we're not together, we FaceTime now. With the new technology, we can FaceTime.
Sure.
That's great too. And then my main communities are with the people here at Koch Industries and the people in Stand Together. And then I have some other friends. I try to play golf once a week. I don't always make it. I have those friends that I socialize with some and stuff, but I don't spend a lot of time on that, but I try to maintain that.
You know, it's tough. It's tough. This is, for me, one of the most important things in my life too, is family and friends. But when you've got a breakneck schedule, like so many people do, and you like what you're doing, it's tough to make sure that you're actually living by your priorities.
Yeah.
2 things that have really helped me on this front. One is every morning that I'm home, if I'm not on the road, I make it a point to have breakfast with my daughter, my 7-year-old daughter. And even if it's 15 minutes, and even if she's bleary eyed because it's 6 o'clock in the morning, that time is really precious. And you learn a lot about yourself actually in a conversation, even a 15-minute conversation with a 7-year-old. The other thing is something that one of the business leaders that we work with at Stand Together shared with me early on. He said it was one of the mistakes he made in his career. He said he never took a vacation. And he said, make sure you always make time to be with your family outside of your daily routine. And just, it'll seem like it's too costly at the time, but it matters. And so I'm fortunate to be able to make that choice, not long vacations, but get away and spend some time, really get to know each other.
Yeah. See, I think his 15 minutes with his daughter is a secret weapon. He's been hiding that. He just recently revealed this, and I know her, and she asks great questions.
She does.
So when Brian comes in with these ideas, she's the one giving it to him. That's my theory.
It's all Mackenzie. It's all Mackenzie.
I love that. Hey, and I appreciate that you pulling that out of vacations and time outside of the family home. Again, it's something that we're seeing people do less and less. And we're in a time right now when that's even less because of COVID. And we're just to honor that. We're prepping for a vacation in June. We're going to fly 17 of the kids and significant others out to the beach, and just to be away, just to have that. It's such a vital thing. Well, the third spoke here is mental, the things that you do to keep yourself mentally sharp, even beyond just knowledge, but the thing to keep yourself mentally healthy, stable, however you want to frame that.
Well, I mean, the main thing is for me is how do I contribute? So I'm always looking for new ways, new principles. I'm reading books and trying to learn from others, get people to challenge me. So I start thinking differently in different ways, open my mind.
Yeah.
And so that's what I do. And when I'm learning new things, then, and I'm able to apply them, then I feel good.
Brian, how about you?
Well, I've got kind of a strange answer to this maybe, but it works for me. Again, when you're working sort of intensively, and these days nobody really turns off their job.
Yeah.
To have some just dedicated time, it doesn't have to be a long time, half an hour, a couple hours, doing something completely different and really just focused on it. And for me, that's cooking. I love to just sit in the kitchen and make a good meal, and you just focus on that. You can put your energy there, and it's got some benefit because you get to be with your family. Once it's complete, involve your family in it. But for whatever reason, that's always sort of kind of re-energized me.
That is, I've never had that answer, and yet I closely align. I love it. I go home every day. I probably 60, 70% of the time I cook we got a big family, And yeah, I love doing that. As a matter of fact, today's lunch is leftover lasagna. I never made lasagna before from scratch. So there you go. But
There you go.
I appreciate the mental break from it and the challenge of it. Well, how about financial? And this is one, you guys are involved with so many people, and, as the stories in the book talk about, so many people who came from hard places and are now, succeeding. So whether it's your personal financial habits or the ones that you even espouse most or see as benefit, I'll let you address that either way you want to.
Well, I think you can tell this by our practice here. We reinvest 90% and have ever since I've been here, uh, 60 years, uh, 90% of our earnings back in the business. And that's the way I am. I don't spend any. My wife likes to spend some money, but I mean, she's not bankrupting us or anything. But that's what she enjoys, shopping. I hate shopping myself. Uh, so I don't spend a lot. So I invest what we need to live on. I invest all of this in Stand Together and other philanthropic activities. And and I've never wanted to be in debt. So I've always wanted to save and so on.
Yeah, I think, you might imagine Charles and I are in a little different financial situation.
Maybe, yeah.
But the principle here that's always sort of helped me is this notion, entitled to nothing and grateful for everything. And if you kind of apply that to the way that you think about your finances, you do just fine whatever your situation is.
That could be a show title right there. Entitled for nothing to nothing, grateful for everything. Spiritual is this next spoke. Where does that land in your life? What are you doing on a habitual basis just to address that side of life?
Well, I'm very spiritual in the way it manifests itself. I believe that God reveals himself through the orderly harmony of what exists. So I believe that all of these, there are laws of nature that create this order, and those are God's laws. And we break them into compartments. Well, here's the law of physics, here's the law of chemistry, here's the law of economic, here's the law of morality, laws of psychology. No, they're all the same. They come from the same source. They're all interrelated. So my purpose, ever since I got on this track for the last 60 years, has been to understand God's laws and apply them. And I mean, it's like what Karl Marx says. He said, philosophers try to understand the world. The purpose is to change it. Now, my way of changing it a little different than his, but that's the way I've always felt. When I've learned one of these laws, I want to live by it, and not just practice it in business, but practice in raising our children, in philanthropy, in everything, and practice this, and then help others find the way, and try to understand and live by God's laws, and help each other. Yes, just the things we've been talking about.
Yeah.
Brian.
Yeah, I've thought a whole lot about this, but I'll give you a real simple answer. I find my center, call it spiritual, call it what you will, really in my relationship with other people. And so that starts for me with family, and then it expands to friends, to colleagues, to really anybody that you meet, in your interactions. Yeah. So the way we talk about that in our family is love.
Yeah.
And, so you practice love and respect, and the world tends to work out well, not just for you, but for others.
Well, and I appreciate seeing that come out in the work that you do as well. The sixth spoke here is career. And this one is, vocation, business. And most people, just like you guys on the show, have achieved a high level of success in what they do. So looking at what are some of the historic routines, habits that you have relied on to keep your career where you want it to be, that you have seen create success in your career?
Okay, the key for me, as I say, I have a very narrow range of gifts, and I discovered at an early age for math and other abstract concepts. So what I'm good at in business or anything is thinking, okay, working on what should our vision be? What are our strategies? Uh, what how do we? What is our philosophy? How do we deal with various groups? All of these conceptual things, and then as I said before, I need to succeed. I need to partner with people who we share vision and values, but they have different capabilities. So that's what I try to do is find people who are good at all the other things that I'm not, so I can focus where I can make the greatest contribution. And so when we were a small company, I had to do more things. And so we had a lot more failures because I was doing things I was no good at. So the first thing I would do, okay, I got to find somebody I can work with. It may not even be an employee. It may be a lawyer or a financial person that can help me on this or that, or an HR person. And so that's where I've been blessed, is to be able to do that. And our team is really good at it. I said, don't bring me in everything. Just when it's a subject that you know where I can contribute and I can't, just bring me in where I can contribute, because I don't want to waste your time and mine by coming in there and making things worse.
Which is a great message for this audience. We talked all of us in the first show together about gifts and the necessity, the power of knowing your gifts. And you've multiple times said that you have a very narrow range of gifts. Obviously you've got great proficiency in those, but that you stay in there where it's kind of staying in your lane in essence, and then delegating the rest, which for the entrepreneurial crowd, is a challenge, but is so important. And I think it's a maturity that we all realize at some point.
Right. So I think, it's critical to know what you're good at, but it's just as important to know and accept what you're not good at. And we've had so many talented people here in the company who wouldn't admit they weren't good at what they thought was a shinier object, a shinier role. And so they ended up failing. And in many cases, ruined their lives. Where if they just focused where they were really good, they could have been very successful.
Yeah. Brian, you've got a little less experience than he does, but what are you doing to keep your career where you want it?
Well, look, I feel like I'm one of the luckiest guys in the world. I got, to my mind, one of the best jobs you could imagine, right? I get to work with every single day people who are way smarter than me, hear their ideas, and my job is to help them to realize their ideas, turn them into reality. And if you'd asked me 20 years ago when Charles and I met, if this is what I'd be doing right now, no way I would have told you that. So, my lesson to myself is, always work as hard as you can at what you've got to do in front of you, rather than sort of thinking about what comes next. But also always be open to the opportunities that hard work creates.
Yeah, absolutely. Last one here is personal. And this is really a behind the scenes, the things that I find, again, people who have achieved success also know how to take care of themselves. They know what fills them. In essence, Charles, you talked about playing, golf. What are the things that you do just on the personal side of life? Brian, you talked about, cooking and whatnot, but what are the things that you do, whether you want to call it hobbies, interests, self-care, just personal interests that help make you the best you can be?
Well, when I was younger, I played rugby. I loved doing that. That was unfortunately my body got smashed pretty well, so I had to give that up. But I enjoy. But what turns me on the most is when I see somebody we've been working with and that gets these ideas, these principles, and they're transformed. And then I get to visit with them and see how they did it. And that's the most thrilling thing to me, is to see the power of these ideas and how it didn't just transform my life, but it transformed these people that we've worked with and we care about.
See, now you're gonna make my answer seem a lot smaller, but I'll
Mine would have been too. That's okay.
I won't try to one up you. My answer is,
Well, I'm a nerd, so you're more a normal person.
well, we'll see about that. My answer is music.
Oh, beautiful.
Music. There's nothing like sitting back and listening to a great album to really kind of refill the well.
You and I need to spend an evening together cooking and listening to music, because
Let's do it.
That's what most nights are. I always have that to look forward to. My family's around, and we've got music playing.
You got it.
And we're cooking.
Yeah, no, and I love music, but I like my son plays the guitar, and he's had a band, he's in a band, and he likes the instrumental part. I like the lyrics.
Yeah.
And those with a message,
Yeah.
like Bob Dylan's "Forever Young."
Yeah.
You read the words in that, and I have a book of all his songs. Right. He had great insight in the human condition. So many of his songs really show great insight, but that one is my favorite, and I think that song could be the theme song for Stand Together.
That's right.
Forever Young. I mean, it is so beautiful. And so I love songs like that.
Well, I'm gonna let the world know that Charles Koch is a Bob Dylan fan. They may not put those together naturally.
You got it.
Thank you guys. Thanks for the behind the scenes look into what makes you tick, what gives you the success that you have. It's a gift. I appreciate the time with both of you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks. Great discussion. Appreciate it.
Take care.